how this is going to fall in editing, but we picked up a TRX 200 this morning. If you know anything about those, you'll know that that's the same drivetrain as a 84 200 ES, high-low reverse. Gentleman told me it ran low on oil, parked it. That's all he knows. What does that mean? It means it's probably locked up. Can we fix it? Probably we can. So, will it run? I don't know. We'll find out while we're here, and so I can sleep tonight, because if not, I'll be wondering. Let's see if we can free it up. Let's see if we can just turn it over. Whew. Y'all see these totes over here behind me? That's phase 6 of the shop cleanup. We're gonna get some totes. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so we are in neutral. Very good. I wasn't sure. Neutral. We do have some key. Let's have a little fun with this. Let's see what happens. Key works. Yep. Seats in place. Ooh. We got some wires doing wiry things. Pine needles. We got some. We got wires. I like this one. This one goes from black to red again, to black, to red, to black. All right. Yep. All right, so first operation, airbox. We don't want to suck anything in here. I think this motor is kind of locked up. I couldn't pull the pull cord. That's not a definite. Story goes on this one, it just ran and stopped. I looked at the gas tank. I think it ran and stopped in the 90s. Maybe. The gas tank's really bad. Could these screws be any longer? Alright. I'm going to open this and jump real quick. Woo! My favorite. Look at that. That's a size 6 to 12. I wear those. I sure do. Me and Shaq have the same size foot. He wears the 12, I wear the 6. Alright, well, we're not going to suck up any trash, but we might get, might smell funny, you know what I mean? So, I had one time that was locked up like this, that it was actually the pull cord and not the cylinder, not the piston. So, get our old jump box out here. We're going to black to black. And this red to black to red to black to red. Let's just see what happens. Shall we? My favorite thing is to throw power to an old machine like this and just sit back and wait and see what happens. The lights work. I mean, sometimes these things are just amazing. They just come to life. They just, not today though. We got fuses to check. We got a lot of things to check. But all right, starter does engage. Relay is not being triggered, so we know it's button related. More than likely. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the spark plug and we're going to fill the cylinder up with some Marvel's Mystery Oil, and we're going to let it sit. PB Blaster, I think, actually is what we have today. Plug was in it. This would make a neat conversion on a three-wheeler. You know, the 200 ES is what this engine and drivetrain is, but it's fully suspended front and rear. And that's the one thing that the old Big Red didn't have. All right, that's how she was running. She was burning a little oil, running a little rich. See if it's got any oil in it. Hope so. Oh yeah, look at that. He didn't run that low on oil. Smells like gas. Okay. Yeah. That's a good sign. We'll start with that. Let's fill it up with some PB Blast. We're gonna try something a little different here. I don't feel like going to the store. It's kind of late in the day. That's not gonna work. Let's just fill it up. All right, I think that's it. They don't hold much. So I didn't have any PB Blaster, but I did have some Seafoam. Pretty good stuff. Not the same, but while we're here and feeling somewhat energetic, let's pull the pull cord and let's put a wrench on the crank. All right, now I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on this. I mean, other than covered in pine straw, the gas tank's bad on it though. Ooh, never a good sign. Pull rope's good, works really good. Little fingers in there. Now there are a couple different versions of this. This one has a single finger. There's another one that has two paws, is what they call them. Fingers, paws, whatever you want to call them. Dogs. Some people call them dogs. This one has one. There's another version if you tear yours apart. It's got a big metal plate here and a metal spool. That one has two dogs on it. This one's plastic. That's kind of how you can tell the difference. And there's about 3 different sizes. Your 110s and 125s take one size. Your 200 class, there's 2 different ones for it. So that crank bolt looks pretty bad. You don't want to put an impact on it because you end up just backing it out. So because we're in neutral and we're not worried about the spark plugs out of it, so it's not going to build any compression. I think somebody had a chainsaw on here. Look at that. Yeah. So what I want to do is I just want to put some tension. It's not locked up. Now I know I'm going the wrong direction, but I'm doing that on purpose because you can loosen this bolt up and then you never have any more pressure on it. See all that Seafoam is pouring out now? That piston's moving. So we know it's going in the upward position if we go counterclockwise, and we're relatively, we're pushing all that fluid out. I don't want to push that out. I want to leave it in there. So I'm going to go back down. Man, I love mechanics. Look at that. Look at that. It's like butter now. You hear that? Hear that? Whoop. You know what that is? That's compression. That's when you call that guy on your Craigslist ad. He said, he's got compression. Yeah, that's it. That's what he heard. Okay, so that was our compression right there. That was TDC. That's my phone. Who could be calling us? Oop, it's my wife. All right, well, in a situation like this, we have nothing to lose. We got a motor that's not locked up. I have no idea how much compression it's going to have or anything. I do want to use the starter to turn the motor over. I don't want to use a drill on here. Yeah, you can, but I don't want to. Wow. All right, let's hop back to the other side and let's see if we've got any spark. We're here. Wife said supper's not going to be for 10 minutes. So what do you think? We can certainly verify spark in 10 minutes, can't we? This boot seems a little crusty. All right, let's get our battery charger charging again. And let's see if a motor will spin now. That's a good way to start a fire. Don't do that. 2 Vintage did that. Oh, scared me. Some old rag here. All right, motor is not locked up. Did y'all see any spark before we got covered and all that? Seafoam is really not as flammable as some of the other chemicals, but it is flammable. That's why you can put it in your gas tank. That's amazing. Isn't that amazing? This thing was sitting under a bunch of trees today. There's pine trees. All right, I'm gonna hold this down here. Let's we'll jump our solenoid again. Let's see if we got some spark. Boy, she spins fast. It's not exactly a good thing. All right, let's check a plug before we make a determination. We still may not have any compression, but we are turning. We ain't got any spark yet either. Y'all watch that down. Don't watch me, watch that. There's a team here now. This is your part. All right, we have no spark. I'm gonna go have some dinner when we come back. All right, so I'm back from dinner. Ooh, I'm full now. Let's pull this front plastic off. I don't know what's holding it on. We'll figure that out. We just to recap for me, cylinder is not stuck now. The piston's not stuck. That's good. Right before turning the camera on, I checked the fuses in the back, and the little small barrel fuse was broken, or excuse me, was blowed. And apparently I've laid it down. I was going to show it to you, but it's blowed. So I did the right thing, and I just hot wired it. And you know, fuses are just kind of, they're just suggested. You know, it's kind of like a stop sign. You know, it's really just, it's just more of a suggestion. It's not really that important. So I just hot wired it, went right past it. Check this out. There we go. So now we've got power to our starter by way of the button. We still have no spark. So let's pull the front plastic and see. I'd like to check the coil. And what we'll do is we'll swap it out real quick and see if we can get some spark. That's really all. That's really all we're chasing right now is spark.
11 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later.
Let's take this tank out of here just to get it out of the way. It's really bad. The seller told me it just stopped, and so they left it. I don't know what year it stopped. It's not last year. I had one of these one time that come in that was so bad. How bad was it? You could stick your finger through the side of the gas tank. I kid you not. We didn't need that. All right. Anything look familiar? Yeah. Let's see what we got here. We got the pulleys coming out. All right, if you're not familiar with the 200 TRX, it's basically like I've been saying. It is an 84 Big Red. Same engine, same drivetrain, same electrical system, everything. Now, what I'm about to do is probably not considered mechanics. You really should test your coil. You should get an ohm meter, test your coil. But it's easier sometimes to just swap a coil if you know you've got one. and I know I got one. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to swap this coil out for another one. And I know that's not the right way to do it, but we're just kind of goofballing tonight. We're just seeing if this thing will run. I'm positive that this coil works because it's the only one that I could find. So that kind of tells us what we need to know right there. Gotta hurry up before the police get here. Alright. What I mentioned to you earlier, see this bend in here? It's kind of weird. This cap's really loose. I don't know if it was just loose or not, but we'll see what we got with a different plug and a different. So I changed the coil out because I had one and it didn't change anything. And so in mechanics, if you're going to do it the lazy way, which I'm doing it the lazy way this time, I should have ohmed it out. I didn't. Changing the coil out didn't fix it. So I put the old coil back in. You understand what I'm saying? Don't change a lot of things at one time. Change one thing. If that doesn't fix it, put it back like it was. Now, this way of fixing stuff can get expensive. If you have multiple problems with a machine, sometimes you end up chasing yourself, not being able to find it. So I'm not telling you this is how to do it. I'm just telling you this is how I'm doing it. All right. So I put the coil back in. Nothing was changed. I went ahead and I found the CDI on this one, which is actually up front. I pull all my old CDIs out of old machines and I have a box of them. If you go through machines like I do, you just keep stuff. It's part of being a hoarder. Well, here's where hoarding pays off. We have spark now. So, with that being said, if we've got spark and we've got battery and the motor's turning over freely, compression, which we have no idea if we've got any compression or not, enough to run. Fuel and air. And so what we'll do is we'll do the old spray it down in the carburetor trick, and let's see if she'll bust off. But now this ain't fixed. This is just playing. That's all I'm doing. We're having a little fun here on New Year's Eve, and that's it. This is not exactly a repair video. This is we just made something happen video. There's a roach in there. That was it though. Alright, you don't want to suck up any roaches either. Alright, now that we've got our spark plug in there, you hear how it changed the sound, much deeper tone. Now it's actually got some resistance going on. So our throttle was not locked up. So that's always a good sign. Open our choke. So open the throttle. We're just going to give it a little spray. Like that. Let the throttle come closed. Throttle's hanging open now. It didn't like the spray. There's roaches in there. I kid you not. We're stirring something up. That's hilarious. Only in Florida. All right. Well, there you go. All right, that's down and dirty. That's from a tree rotor running. So next order of business now is we got to go through the carburetor. Now we know exactly what it is. It's got compression. It's got enough to run. Our electrical system is working, though it's just kind of hodgepodge together. It is working. I don't know if the key works or not. Let's see. Yep. So the key is turning on and off the system, so that's actually a very good thing. I wasn't sure. I had bypassed so much stuff that sometimes you just bypass the key too. And I've had that happen. Actually, I had a bad key in a 250 ES Big Red, and it took me a little while because it's, you know, it's kind of one of those dumb things that just should always work. It's a bad key. So, wow. Let's get some gas. Let's get this, let's get some gas in that carburetor and see if it will take any. And if it does, then let's see if it'll run and idle. Let's just see. I'm not even going to pull the carburetor. I'm just going to put some gas in it. I've got some 2-stroke gas, and that really won't hurt anything. It's already mixed up in our portable gas station. And let's just see. All right, so where are we at? We are set up with our portable gas station here. We've got our electrics running. We do not have any dash lights. Don't know why. We got our stock filter off, and our throttle is I just sprayed it down and kind of cleaned it up a little bit. It's a little gummy. You know, you still need to be careful even when you're goofing off. We got fuel and spark going on here. We don't want this thing to rev up too bad. Slide is bottoming out in the bottom, so there's that. We don't know how it's set. You know, 40-year-old piece of equipment, probably somebody's messed around with an idle. So let's turn the idle down 2 turns just to be careful. See what happens. I hadn't even given any gas yet. I think my fuel line's too low on here. Let's see if we can change this around a little bit. Get gravity on our side. So we got a miss. I don't know if you could tell that or not. Yeah, we got a miss. And we got a little bit of smoke in the shop. You can probably see that more. All right. So we're just having fun here. I really expected to blow a lot of crap out of the muffler there, but it didn't. I'd like to get it to idle and see if it would idle, and then let's put it in gear and see what that does. It's not going to run great. It's open element. You know, it ain't running. Who knows how long? Bad CDI. First one, second one that I've probably ever had. It was just dead CDI. CDIs just don't. I'm slowing the idle down just a little bit if you're wondering what I'm doing. We got gears. Alright, that's low first gear. flipping it. Are y'all believing that? I'm not believing that. You gotta believe it. It's right there. That's low first gear right there. Man, those things are geared low, aren't they? Alright guys, that's it's not right, but it's fun, and it's running, and it's actually running. You know, there's a little bit of valve rattle in the top, but not a lot. It starts pretty easily. With no battery, it starts great. If it had a battery in it, it would turn over a lot more speed and authority. Listen to that. So 2024, I'm probably not going to divulge as much. I'm finding that some people take offense to that, but the reason I do it is I want to encourage you to go out and look, and you'd be surprised what you could find, and not really for a whole lot of money. We got a kink in our fuel line. We still don't have any power to the dash. I wouldn't be surprised if that headlight doesn't come on and work. But I tell you prices because I want you to realize that you can find these things for really cheap money, and just have fun with them. You know, you don't always have to make $1. You don't always have to you know, flip it. You can buy it, have fun with it, play with it, and then just, you know, whatever. But I spent $250 on that today. This morning I picked it up. The guy messaged me and he said he had it, and I said okay. And I went out and got it. And it's been sitting in a tree row. I'll show you a picture of what he sent me. Just amongst a bunch of trees, been sitting there, you know, who knows how long. Enough that pine needles got all in it. He said it wouldn't run. He said it was locked up. And it was. It was locked up. By him just pulling on the cord, it wasn't going to go. It just wasn't enough leverage to really do that. There you go. We got gears, we got forward, we got reverse, we got a seat. So, what do you do in a situation like this? I ask y'all that all the time. It needs air in all the tires. I don't know how long they're going to last. Probably not long. We got a seat. The real problem with these is the gas tank. These gas tanks are notoriously just no good. So, I'm going to look into a plastic tank. I do believe there's a company, I don't think it's Clark, I think it's ITP. I think they make a tank for this machine. We don't have that plastic cover that covers the tank, so whatever tank we get is going to be exposed. You know, maybe you could get that cover. Is it worth restoring? No, it's not. It's just to beat around the yard, and that's all this is good for. So don't put any money into it that you don't, you know, can't justify. So you got to have some kind of gas tank. I don't know what we're going to use. We're going to put some kind of tank in it. We're going to air up the tires. If they hold, great. If they don't, you know, we could tube them, but nowadays tubes are so doggone expensive. I think a tube will run you $25. You can get a tire for $30. You know, you might as well just get a tire if you're going to do that. It needs wheel bearings. I'm sure it doesn't have any brakes. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. got a running, driving four-wheeler right there. Look at that. We ain't even taken the carb off of it yet. The carb's not even clean. There's roaches coming out of the carburetor. It's a Honda. It's a Honda. I'm just going to let it run. Until that thing runs out of gas, I'm going to stand here and just giggle because that's why I do it.